Well, welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? It's Rokani David onto the United Matters channel, and we're here to obviously bring you what our thoughts are for this other game, match day 23 for the club of Manchester United. And guess what? We are in for what we call a very hugely heated up game, taking on Fulham at Craven Cottage. And if you never knew, I think this is the only London team that we've gone ahead to beat in the Premier League in the previous 2 seasons, especially ever since Eric Ten Hag took over and got sacked. And it has gone ahead obviously imply onto even our manager that when he has gone to London, he has not gone ahead obviously get 3 points there. And 2022, 2023 we beat Fulham, and again 2024 we beat Fulham by 1 goal to 0, scored by Bruno in the dying minutes. And this is where everything really gets interesting, that with us losing to Brighton at Old Trafford and Fulham going away at Leicester City and beating them by 2 goals to 0, I tell you, it is really hard to see to it that I can come here and confirm to you that we are obviously going to be getting into the best mode of winning at the Craven Cottage, because Fulham this season is one of the most troubling teams, and it has gone ahead obviously give very many big teams headache. You know, when Arsenal went there, I think they drew 1-1, if I'm not mistaken. They drew 1-1. So it shows you that this team is really tricky. And teams like Liverpool, Man City, that are really more organized than Man United, have gone ahead obviously suffer in the hands of Fulham. So let's go into this game. As we get this game of football, Fulham, who was resting in the due course of the week, and Man United played on Thursday, as they left it late with that goal scored by Bruno Fernandes that saw United win by 2 goals to 1 to take them, I think, is it third into the table of the UEFA Europa League. So after that, we get into the injury room. Looks like Lenny Yoro and Matthias De Ligt are really having little knocks, and they'll undergo what we call a late fitness test. And for Matthias De Ligt, he went off at halftime. You know, he never returned to play in the second half. Then, when you look at Lenny Yoro, we wait and see what's going to happen. Then we also have Mason Mount, Luke Shaw. All those are really injured. And for Marcus Rashford, he's out of this game, and the manager is not interested in obviously seeing that he obviously keeps him into the game. For Fulham, when we go to Sports Mall, they really have the following say about the players that are really out and those that are viable. They tell us that Ken Tete is out with a knee injury. Then Reece Nelson is having a hamstring injury. Sasha Lukic, he's really one of those that might obviously show up in here. Then Tom Canry, Harrison Reid, and Josh King are alternative options in the center back. But the only change Silva might consider is out wide, where Traore is pushing to displace Alex Iwobi after doing so at halftime against Leicester. So that is how they're really lining. That's how their sick bay is really looking, especially for the team known as Fulham. And they come into this game of football when they're really hugely placed ahead of Man United. When you look at the table, Fulham is 10th and they're having 33 points, and United is having 26 points, meaning that they are 7 points ahead of Manchester United. And I tell you, if we don't start winning our games now, because you're left with 16 games, it's really going to be hard for Manchester United to obviously get into the top 10, you know. Yet the worst we've ever gonna hit obviously see, I think we finished 8th last season, you understand, and the points we had were 60. You get, I think we had 63 points, but now I don't see us hitting any 6 points, because we are left with 16 games to play, and those are 48 games, and those are 48 points. Out of the 16 games, how many do you think United can win? You know, I don't see us even winning 7 of those, you know, to even clock 40 points. So it's really hard for the club of Manchester United. And I don't know what you're going to do, but all I've always said even when they were sacking Eric Ten Hag, was like, we need to keep a manager here for 5 years. And that's what I want to see Ruben Amorim. That's the length of the time that I want to see Ruben Amorim kept for here. I want to see Ruben Amorim stay at Man United for 5 years, 5 seasons. I think that's when you'll obviously get the best out of the best. And that's the time that is required, I think, for any manager to rebuild a squad. You understand? That's what I really think. But I don't know what the board at Manchester United is really thinking about. But I tell you, we should really do the needful and let these people do their job and see to it that they really change their squad and really change it into where they want it to be. So that's exactly what you're really having in through from the side of Man United and Fulham. And now let's get to the probable starting 11 for the club of Manchester United, as the manager rested some players in the midweek, and we anticipate that they're really going to be coming in through. So the system is 3-4-2-1 for the club of Manchester United. Now, Atil Bayenda was in between the stitches as we beat Rangers by 2-1. And that is one of the moments that we all have to look at and really ask, should we keep him or we get him out? And I think he should be taken back to the bench, and Andre Onana should get back his position. You know, there are those that slated Andre Onana for that foul that he did for the first goal, for the third goal that we considered against Brighton. And I was like, now, if you don't blame him for that too, you know, why do you blame him for the third one? Because this team went ahead, obviously let 2 goals go in, and Andre Onana was not the player to blame. You get? And people who are really complaining about this, they should know that this third goal came in through later, and United, for all of those minutes before you consider the third goal, had only one shot on target, and it came through what we call a penalty. So why should you come up and obviously try to see to it that you really slate such a player? And on the right side of 3-man central defense, I think Victor Lindelof can play part there because of the doubt of Matthias De Ligt and Lenny Yoro. Then on the left side of 3-man central defense, Lisandro Martinez, man responsible for the assist, and he looked really pretty good into that game. And at the center of the 3-man central defense, I tell you, it should be all about one player called Harry Maguire, who came on, and for the first goal we conceded against Wolverhampton Wanderers, he was really a little bit pushed by the referee. Was like, oh no, it's not a push. And I was like, oh, why didn't they obviously consider the same reaction when we scored the first goal and it was really ruled out into the mix? Right wing back, I think it's obviously going to be all about Mazarawi. He was rested in the midweek, and I know he's really going to be returning thick and big and better. Left wing back, I think it's going to be Dallo, as United tries to obviously get in Patrick Dogo, and I don't know why the negotiations are really taking all this long. Then in the double pivot, I see Manuel Ugarte and Kobe Mainoo taking back their positions into that double pivot to do the needful. So that is how I believe my 2 wing backs and 2 central midfielders will obviously look like into that encounter. Then the 2 number 10s, the one playing at the central, the right central half space, I think it's gonna be Amadi Diallo to play there, and on the left it's gonna be Bruno Fernandes, who scored a very brilliant goal that saw United really win. Leading the line, Rasmus Højlund or Joshua Zirkzee. I think this time around the manager will be like, for the previous 2 games, I've gone here to start Joshua Zirkzee, so let me start Rasmus Højlund. And some people have come out and said that he really makes bad runs, you know, and I'm like, all right, we have Zirkzee, his interplay is good, link-up play is really great, but have you seen any chance to go to Joshua Zirkzee? I tell you, it was only one when you're playing against this side called Brighton. So I don't want people to come out and really slate this guy known as Rasmus Højlund, because I've already told you that he is starved of service. That's what people don't understand. The player is starved of service. So that is my probable starting 11. And let me be very open. the best I see for Manchester United in this is a draw. That's the best result we can get away from Fulham. But a win, I don't see us winning a game against Fulham. You know, their intensity, the confidence they've gone ahead to build is really out of this world. So that's what I have for you in here onto the United Matters channel. Go ahead and obviously let me know about what you think about this. So that is my probable starting 11. And for Fulham, Sports Mall is telling us that they are going to be having Leno in goal, Castegani right back, Robinson left back, Anderson and Basse in the central defense. Then Sander Berge linked to Man United. Then Lukic and Wilson will play in there. Then Smith Rowe, Traore and Jimenez will obviously do the needful into that beautiful encounter of display. So we wait and see how that happens. But for me, the best we can do out of this game is a draw. But if it's a win, it's going to be going on the side of Fulham. And I tell you, in the Premier League, we really look bad in such moments. So continue to subscribe. I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below. I want to know what your thoughts are about this. Bye-bye.